This is Just AMZN on Tuesday, January 7th, 2020. Take a look at the 5-minute. We had a really amazing triangle today. We'll see if I can do it justice drawing it. Yeah, nice lower high, nice higher low. Okay, jog that one a little bit. Lower high, higher low, came right into an apex with a really nice consolidation. And then from there, it just popped amazingly well. It just flew. So yeah, that was the move today. So that was it. And it moved really nicely. I mean, it moved from right at 1900. I mean, it just consolidated right here in 1900. It was really the place it was running into as resistance yesterday and then popped right at the end of the day. That same price, we just came right back into, consolidated into it. And then really slowly just kind of started to inch a little bit higher. Had a squeeze form earlier that kind of like did this false break thing and then looked like it was going to break down. It's like, no, it's just coming back down to a lower uptrend, you know, just like this. I mean, let's see. Let me see if I can sketch that. If I draw an angle here like that, let's see if that's going to be like the same angle for today's triangle. Not quite. Okay. I was hoping that would be like right on, but it's not. Nope. It's like this. A little shallower. That's okay. Does get pretty close to there. I mean, you can kind of do that. Oops. You can kind of do that. So it held that level. And then yesterday, yeah, it didn't really fit too well. The top, maybe the top. A little bit of the uptrend here. Okay, I can see that angle. So you're going through the bodies here, and then hitting the highs here, and then right up here it pushes through. So that angle, which is a harder angle to see yesterday, it was kind of the angle we're working on today. Let's see if I can get this trick to work this time. Well, let me flip the numbers. Nope, it's not working. Okay. Anyway, just gonna see if I can invert it and see if that's, you know, the inverse going back down the other way. But anyway, no, I shouldn't have gotten rid of that yet. Let me just draw it going straight, horizontal or pretty close to it. And look at where we pulled back to. So we broke out, you know, broke out from a really nice triangle, actually probably a measured move from like the open. Like this candle is pretty much the open. That candle is $16.70, and we went from 19 up to 1900 up to 1940. So not quite the measured move, maybe from the open to the low, something like that. I don't know. But we pulled back and did this S-curve thing, and we did a double bottom right here, right off of this high. I mean, really, it's both of these highs, but really nicely off of this high right here. And oops, we actually bounced off of it 3 times. Just looking at it over the right here. Bounced once, twice, 3 times, I guess 4 times. Didn't really get going over here. We did get a nice little push higher here, which you could have snagged a little bit of the gain. But anyway, the main place to be buying was right in here as it starts to break out, and it would have possibly been a bit of a chase. This is the 1925 calls we're looking at, and from when it broke out from this level to here, I mean, it just popped, you know, quickly with the option. So if you had like a stop limit at 7 and a stop down at 6, you probably didn't get filled at 7, which means you may have been chasing to try and get 750, like quickly chasing, get in at 750, get in at 8. Well, it's like, then you're shifting your $100 risk and opening it up to coming back down to this level. So that's always the challenge with these. Or you can go a little further out and try and get kind of more of a gentler move rather than a pop like this, but it just depends on how the option moves. So it's still possible to miss those, or you wait for the pullback. And so here's the pullback. It came right back into the high in here and gave you that price at 8 again. So where it made the nice gap here, it came right back in, closed that gap. Could have been buying at 8 by 7, gotten a little bit of a gain here, going up to 10, done something close, or maybe not gotten out at 10, but you hold through this, pulls back through, and then it gets a move going back up to 10. You get out at 10. It's like, okay, well, if it doesn't really get going, I want to take something. I'll take my 2 Rs right there. And then it didn't really bounce too well right at the end of the day. So that's the 1925. Let's look at like 1940. Just go out a little further and see what this one did. So this was quite a bit less expensive. So this was down. This was half the price. Instead of getting it at 8, you're getting it at 4, or around 4. So this would have been, it's just going sideways right here. So you can set your trade up a little bit differently. Maybe do 450 by 350 and kind of straddle this price. So you're really waiting for it to get going. You don't want to get wicked in by something, like one of these little things, and then it plunges. 450, you're getting in right here, should be filled with that, and then it just runs and goes up to the high from earlier in the day. 450 up to 8. I would take that too. That'd be a great setup. Didn't quite get filled on 450 here if you had held that trade open, and still only moved up about an R, a little more than an R to do that. So that's the 1940. Let's go a bit closer. Let's look at 1930. Still a decent volume. So that's good. Still had quite a big move here, just $5 away from what we first looked at, 1925. Even doing 6 by 5 would have been tough here, and it looks like you wouldn't have gotten the price back down. If you just watched for this gap, you'd have to watch for that or just have it set up, but really looking for it to pull back and hold that level. Let's look at the 1935. Okay, 1935, I do not like the volume. This is just really, really scarce volume. So I would not be getting into that, just because there's just not enough people trading it. If we go a little further away, 1945, I don't really like the volume through here either. But, it does pick up once it starts to move here. It does pull back. You just don't get the move as nicely once it pulls back and bounces. You don't have very much volume over here either. And probably the 1950 is going to be similar, but we'll take a quick look. Oh, 1950, there's a lot. Probably because it's that much cheaper that there's lots of people buying it. I am still kind of low, but there's enough candles filled in that there's enough people in here. So this was another one you could do, like get in at 3 and stop down at 2 or 250 and get into 2 of them. Or you could have waited for that to break out. It comes back down. You're getting in like 350, kind of the high over here, 350 by 3. Get a little pop. It just didn't really continue. Maybe 350. Yeah, maybe you just got out at 450. So, and if you're in the 1950 strike, then you're just going to try and scalp something anyway. So, and then more expensive, obviously, is getting all the way down to 1900 calls that are at the money, and those just kind of drift. Like these are really spready right here as this is just going sideways. So your $100 risk, it doesn't do it justice here. There's much more range on getting triggered in and getting stopped out. So be careful setting those up. It's like you almost want to just wait for the stop limit, or have a stop limit up here just to let you get in, and then set your stop later so you don't actually get stopped out within the same 5-minute candle because it moves so large. But I still don't recommend doing that with a $100 stop. Probably you may be able to go a little further out, maybe 1910 to try and do something like that. Yeah, these candles are a little smaller. They're straddling right at 11. So this is one you could probably do this would have gotten you in. If you did 1150, the high here was 1135, maybe 1150 by 1050 here. But you don't want to have this set up for 30 minutes. You could. Be interesting to see how that would play out. It's a move above this candle at 1150. You wouldn't be able to set the stop at 1050 till after this kind of puts in a new low over here. And it's like, okay, I got enough room right here. These are smaller candles. It's getting ready to do something. I think it's going to go bullish. Edge is bullish. 1150 stop limit. stop down at 1050, and whoosh, it just goes and moves almost up to the high of the day. So that would have been phenomenal. From like, let's say 1150 up to, let's say you got like 1850. That'd be amazing. That means you're selling high. That's a really nice seminar. The pullback would have been really tough. This is way too wide of a candle to be getting into. You really would have had to be getting in on a low, hoping that's going to be the low that holds. I mean, it's coming back to retest some highs in here. So that's right at 1250. So 1250 by 1150, just $1 above where you got in, maybe. And that pops again too. These are some nice hammer candles, little too large, 11 by 13 might have worked. I like these smaller candles here a little bit too. Probably could have done 14 after a couple of these, just set your trade up. Okay, if I get filled at 14 over here, stop down at 13, that's enough of range. It's not moving too quickly. I could get wicked in, should get wicked in, and then a pop, and then you're out. Get in at 14, get out at 16, maybe just 15 or 15.50, but got it at 16, that would have worked. Actually, probably with this high at 15.95, probably would have set it at 15.50 for a target. So that would have been a nice little 1.5 hour gain. So that's with the 1910 strike. So anyway, we'll keep it on 1925, come back to that for tomorrow and see if we do anything else up here. One thing I did notice, because I just kind of scrolled ahead to see what we're doing after hours, and there's this big sell-off thing. So we'll see what happens with this in the morning. See if we do some sort of recovery pre-market or back up here. If we do open up down here, I mean, it's another opportunity similar to this where we could just get bought up, and similar to this where we could just get bought up, and similar to this where we could just get bought up, or a little slower bought up. But look, if we open up down here, look for us to get bought up in this range. Possibly in this range. We'll see. If we recover and we're back up here, still be cautiously bullish, because this is a pretty big move down. There's something political or something going on that's causing something after hours. So we'll see what kind of interaction we get back up at these prices. But if it can move this quickly after hours, I mean, it could set up to do something like that again during the trading day. We've had a lot of bullishness up here, which means, this is a really nice high wave candle. We could gap right below that and just trade back down a bit, and that'd be a nice little rest. Totally fine to do that. We're at the range up here where we've had some of these smaller candles, like this candle right here on, what is that, June 24th? This candle looks really similar to the candle we had today. The range on this one is 15.56. The range on today's was 21.85, a little bit different. Let's see, this one 7, this one 20. Oh, 21.88. This one right here is very similar. 21.88. What did I say today was? 20.85. Yeah. So just open and closed at a different place. So, but very similar. We've had a lot of high wave candles up here. So this is in the middle of some no man's land. That I thought we would just rush right through into 1925, and we were a little slower going through there today. So we'll look for some more consolidation, giving us a nice little triangle setup. If we can get that lined up with the squeeze, it could really move. Like the one that we got yesterday, there was a squeeze forming here, consolidated, broke down, put in a new low, and like I said, this is a great place to be buying, because people thought it was going to pull back, and instead it just reversed, consolidated, and then just continued to roar all day. I mean, not really roar, just grinded higher. Today we got the pop. We had a nice little pop here, and we'll see if we can recover and do some more bullishness tomorrow, or if something else is in the store. But it would not be a problem to pull back a little bit. Even to have a bearish candle would not be a problem. So just know your risk, and just trade cautiously. When something like this is happening after hours, it's a little different. We just had kind of some after hours gapping down. the other day, and this just kind of grinding sideways. This is actually like an after hours sell off. So again, I don't want to give it too much weight right now without knowing what's going to happen in the morning. So just make sure you're looking at the pre-market to see, did we recover? Are we back up here? What levels are we holding? Are we not holding something? Are we putting in some reversal? See, this seems to be a common thread. We've had some consolidation for like half an hour for some of these days. Like we had some consolidation right here and continued, we broke out, broke down, and then we continued to consolidate before finally moving higher. So it just took longer. This day we had a nice little consolidation right in here before 11, and then popped at 11. There was this one this day that happened a little bit before 1 o'clock. So there's been these consolidations here, and so all of them so far have really gone bullish. We'll see if we get another one tomorrow. We didn't have a clean one tomorrow that had a pop, but today we had a nice clean one that popped and went bullish. So we'll see if we get another one of these tomorrow that goes bullish, or if something's happening differently, maybe they'll do that and then go bearish. So we'll have to wait and see. So anyway, hope this helps. This is Justin AMZN. Thanks.